The Lake District, as no one has seen it, they say, for perhaps 1,000 years. The destruction is vast, the devastation widespread, and the tragedy is close to the heart of every Cumbrian community. But the family of Police Constable Bob Barker will feel it most of all. He'd been directing motorists away from Northside Bridge in Workington when it collapsed.
We stood and you could just see the crack come right up this end of the bridge as the bridge just collapsed down into the water, and bit by bit it just keeps cracking along as it keeps coming further along.
Despite a desperate search, including fellow officers who were also his friends, they couldn't save the man who died trying to save the lives of others.
Many colleagues are deeply upset by the events today, but our thoughts are clearly with his family at this very difficult time, and many colleagues across the constabulary getting on with doing the job we know we've got to do for the people of Cumbria.
A life was lost, many more were saved. The towns of Keswick and Cockermouth bore the brunt of the storms. Even the oldest people here had never seen this before. The rescuers came from all over the United Kingdom to help in a civil emergency almost beyond imagination.
It was described to me this morning, this particular flood, as of biblical proportions. And the Environment Agency have told me that this level of rain, this level of flooding, happens about once every 1,000 years, if that gives you some idea of the scale and the force of the devastation that you see here in Cockermouth.
One by one, they carried those who had spent an anxious night trapped in their homes to safety.
There you go. Thank you.
Relatives who'd lost contact with loved ones waited through the equally anxious hours.
No, right?
Oh, he's right, really, but you're all right. You're all right.
It seemed at times beyond the normal scale of human measurement, and what efforts had been made to hold back the deluge were dismissed, swept aside by the merciless torrents turning the familiar into the grotesque. In the stillness, it's easy to overlook the sheer destructive power of the torrents that raged through streets like this, until you look around, at the roads torn up, the doors forced open, and family lives wrecked for months to come.
Well, you can see the line, can't you?
No. Phil and Stephanie Murphy had just finished renovating their home.
I went upstairs to put my cats to safety, and then I sort of could see obviously from the window that it was building up, and then I hadn't come back downstairs, and then my dad and brother come to get me, and it was literally waist high. And to be honest with you, if we'd not gone when we did, we thought the windows were going to come in.
The same story is reflected in an as yet unfathomable number of properties. They have been leaving their homes behind in droves, and although the worst may have passed, many are unlikely to return for months to come. Mike McCarthy, Sky News, Cumbria.